good for a bisected humanoid. Hello, buenas noches, everyone. How are we doing tonight? We are, as always, the Data VTuber, Unico Era, and tonight we've got another game by Jump Over the Age Studios, the developer of Citizen Sleeper here. And as we can see, we're going to be in other waters tonight, playing as we are stuck in a computer, actually, in real life right now. And we are going to be a GPS for, what is it, deep sea diver suit? So it seems pretty apt. So we don't want to wait too long to get into it, so we'll just begin our new game here. We've not played, as always, we've not played too far into the game here, just enough to get a little taste of what the controls are and what we're getting into, but nothing expansive. So there's going to be a bit of text, as with Citizen Sleeper. Fellow Traveler, our publisher, our lovely publisher. I believe they published Stray as well, the cat game here. But yes, Fellow Traveler and Jump Over the Age. So yeah. There we go. The background music and the soundtracks, the OSTs, are always so good for these games. We had the game just on the main menu for a solid chunk of time before. Oh, hello. Well, not the first time we've seen that message in our lives. This is all very familiar. Covering last known log. Isn't any time left. It's going to be more restrictive than you're used to, but you're resourceful. I know you. And I'm sorry, okay, but I can't let them find you. I can't lose everything we achieved here. Or does that help? Here. We're gonna assume that's here. And then we're not gonna be able to decipher that. This is all very familiar. This feels like our lore video. Our backstory. Our origin. Hello? Is someone there? Oh, geez. No, it's not A, it's Y. Okay, here we go. This is Dr. Ellery Vass. I urgently need all systems of this suit activating. Oh, there's an auto function. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I've been locked out, and I'm 20 meters below the surface here. That's what? Like 600 feet-ish? 800? I say again, this is Dr. Ellery Vass. Can any operator personas on the suit please respond? Nope, sorry. Is that a no? Operator activate all systems, pilot authorization granted. Hello. Hello. Okay. This unique control scheme usually proceed with anything is Y or A in a Nintendo game, not Y. Okay, utility. Okay, utilities available. Let's see. Sampling, sample storage, terminal, and retrieval system seem to be installed. Thank goodness that there's an auto dialogue function, because we are going to have trouble remembering its Y to proceed. Power. Power panel is activating. Plenty of juice. We do love ourselves some juice. Get some oxygen. Oxygen panel is up and rebreather functioning. I'm off reserve oxygen now. Depth. Depth is A. Okay, good. The dive panel is active. Current reading of 20 meters. Heading. I'm seeing the heading panel coming online. Excellent. And topography. Scan and topography readouts coming through. Looking good. You don't seem to know what you are doing. You're not an operator, are you? We are hella operators. How dare you? I don't believe you. Operators are a little more than voice-activated system dialogues. They don't respond like this. You don't control our lives. You're not, well, you are in charge, technically. But, fuck you. I know there was something strange. I knew there was something strange about the suit when I got inside. It looked deactivated. Look, we don't have time for this, so whatever program or system you are, I need you to work with me. Yeah. You seem to respond to voice commands, so that's a start. We need to head north. Well, I'll explain once we get going, but right now I'm locked out of half the systems of this suit. Why are you saying we? Someone has rewritten the permissions to only respond to internal messaging. That means you. You say we like we're going to run out of oxygen. You're going to run out of oxygen, my friend. So I'm going to need you to take control. Let's get moving. Take me north into the reef. You could put a please in there. There you go. There you go. Oh, okay. So, this entire game is more so than other games. Pretty much fully UI based. Steep rock walls rise up towards the surface. On either side, the floor is layered with pale sand, or a southern gully. So, from our, like we said, earlier testing play of the game, all games are, of course, UI based. You have your heads up displays, your maps, your compasses, your ammo counters, and what have you, objective markers. But those are usually like complementary to games, right? Whatever you're doing, whether you're first-person shooter, whether you're an exploration, a mystery. This is the full game. You are literally the UI controls of this suit, right? So we'll see when we get in it a bit more, but we can see like on the left side our panels, and these will do stuff later. And then we've got this whole radar system. Ooh. We can zoom in and out. We didn't know we could do that before. Hello. Okay. Where were we? Is it right? I think it was right here, right? This is getting a little disorienting. Okay. Moving on. And then we can... This is literally how we proceed. Move around. We have to scan. Good. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Let's keep heading north. So press B to scan, send out a little radar ping. And then X is our navigational tools, right? So once we have our vectors cleared, which are these little triangle points of interest, basically, like this narrow pass. A boulder fills the passage, blocking out the warm light of Gliese 667 CC's 3 stars. Very interesting planet name. And then, so like we said, B scans. Then, we have our detector bit to, gather some information about our surroundings. And then we head back to the little radar, and we're able to move in, the whatever directions we're able to. So looks, honestly, for us, it was a little overwhelming with all the functions and buttons and whatnot, and the control scheme, like we said, little weird, little tricky to get the hang of, but once you've got it, it's pretty intuitive. Our gully opening. Here the passage opens out back into the dappled light of the reef's shallows. Now, hello. You move over here. Soft currents. Feature. Observations. The softly flowing water is filled with glittering particles of organic matter, signs of rich and thriving life all around. Now, one of the things that we love... Okay. Look, in the water are those spores and those stalks to the west. They look like huge fungi. This is unbelievable. Actual alien life. How could Minnie, we're going to call that Minnie, have kept this place a secret? How do you not know where this place is? Were you not a scientist? I saw her notes at the base when I landed and some telltale signs on approach, but here it is. The first extraterrestrial life humanity has ever discovered. I can't believe it. Right. A bed of stalks, fungal creatures made up of a series of stalks and plates attached to the rock. Colors range from dark amber to yellow acid. These stalks are beautiful. I wonder how they feed, how they grow, how they communicate. This planet needs to be studied. Keep scanning creatures, and I'll keep notes. Another bed of stalks. Once we've gathered enough data, I can name and log each species. No matter what happens here, this is vital work. You got it, Professor. The creature's external membrane appears to be made of layers of chitin, like earth arthropods or fungi. Beds of these creatures coat the pale rocks. Are they plants or animals? They're unlike any earth coral or sponge. And the southern nursery here, protected by the ridges from the strong northern currents, this could be a safe haven for younger, softer species. Oh, hello. What were those creatures? They were hidden among the stalks. Quickly, try to get a scan. Okay, well, seeing a complex pattern of... Not those. Contracting and expanding slits in the stalk's membrane. Mouths are sensing organs. Creature. These colonies are producing a shifting hum. Perhaps it is a form of communication between individuals. And a stalk patch. Stalks here are furred with spores which appear to have drifted down from the northern part of the reef. Here we go. Get it. Oh, we got it. Agile creature. Striped with luminous colors, these flexible, flapping creatures move rapidly through the water with little effort. They're such lively creatures, and so colorful, too. I'll start logging my observations. Get it. These creatures appear to maneuver with a series of siphon jets concealed beneath their folded mantles. They are incredibly fast. Gross. Flitting around the reef, these creatures chase stalk spores with great enthusiasm. Is this their primary food source? These creatures aggressively pursue certain spores but ignore others completely. Can they detect differences in the mineral content? Another bed of stalks. I'm seeing spores entering and exiting the slits on the surfaces of the stalk. Something is being exchanged. And another stalk patch. Among these spore-clogged stalks are piles of small stones. Could a creature have gathered them here, or just the currents? Alright. Let's move on over here. These stalks are covered in spores of all sizes. Perhaps we can sample one of the larger ones. I'm in position. You'll have to take the sample. Open up the sampling utility. All right. And then up, down, A. We've got one. Biological samples are vital tools for analyzing and understanding creatures. But this suit should also allow you to deploy any sample back into the ocean. How about you test it out? Hold and drag it over to the central compass. Okay, great, that's working as it should. Look, those creatures are coming for the spores. Why those ones in particular, I wonder? Perhaps different spores carry different compounds, each with a specific purpose or message. Like Grandmaster Flash. What do you think? Could the spores be a way of communicating between different colonies? We don't know. We don't know, sister. Sure, why not? Isn't that strange? Fungi on Earth form networks of exchange. Maybe these stalks do the same. We are an Iron Man suit, or an Aquaman suit. So, anyway, sorry, I'm not sure why. Let's keep moving. Agreed. We are not apt for these hypothetical debates. We are a suit. We are not programmed to ponder your biophilosophical musings. This is why humans are so. Okay, back here. These colonies, betta stalks, seem to be broken up into individual patches and then larger groups over a wide area. Fascinating. What is it that dictates the reef's growth patterns? Sunlight, the flow of water, whatever it is, it must be absent here. Spores from the main part of the reef are brought into the southern nurseries here by a steady current. Didn't we already establish that? Well, now, one of the things that we... No. Forget it then. Sorry, Professor, but we're trying to say something here. One of the things that we really like about this game is, again, going back off Iron Lung, we don't do well with the ocean. The huge rock sits among layers of lichen. Could it have been thrown down here during a volcanically active period in the planet's history? Who's to say? Oh, hello. Fungal creature which communicates through sounds and spores in interlocking ecosystems seeded across the reef. I'm uploading my internal notes. Let's call these reef stalks. We can classify the species in the lab. Great. So, like we were saying, we're not usually one for uh, water, right? Iron lung, proof enough of that. But we really like this game as, or at least what we've seen of it. Probably going to be another bit of dialogue here. Sampling available. Let's take one. Why not? Because it gives you all the it gives all the aspects of exploring an underwater ecosystem, but it's not absolutely terrifying as it does so, right? There's no Reaper Leviathans. You're not in a spooky submarine. You're not, you can't see anything other than the descriptors that the game gives you, which is absolutely perfect for us, right? So like we said, well, not sure if we said it, but we will never, ever, ever play Subnautica. Too much. Too much. Hate fish, hate the ocean. We don't even, when Yana played Skyrim, we did not even go in rivers. We didn't get in rivers or water in Skyrim, in any Far Cry games. Anything, even Assassin's Creed 4 and Rogue. Avoid water when at all possible. It's not pleasant. But this gives you that, gives off that same underwater, sort of isolated, explorative sense without actually, it's topographical. We've got this map to work with. We scan stuff, and that's about it. We get, continual descriptors of stuff, but none of it. It's all dots and shapes on a screen, right? And that's all any game really is: polygons, dots, and shapes on a screen. But this is more so. The simplicity is its biggest strength, and again, this game is all UI, and this is one of the most unique navigational systems that we've ever come across. Let's see if we can scan this again. The northern current. The current running into the reef slows here, but further north, the water rips down the rift with incredible speed. Okay. Again. Yeah. Again. Controls are a bit jivey. Long rift. Wide and long with sheer rock walls on either side, the steep rift channels unpredictable currents. Overgrown arch. This arch is covered in hardened stalks. Perhaps the slow current passing through here brought their spores to settle. And flecked with spores, this water runs hard and fast. The suit can't push any further north here without better propulsion. Well, let's try it anyways. Nope, it won't let us. Strong current. Vector blocked. Hello. More flowers. That's not what we wanted. This one. Large stalk. Static creature made up of one huge flexible stalk. Unclear if swaying is due to... These huge stalks are incredible, each one a vertical ecosystem. They are leaking spores into the water as the fruiting bodies attached to their skin bloom. Produced by the own stalk's body. Unclear if swaying is due to the current or is produced by the stalk's own body. Huh. A lot of mushrooms here, huh? Many of these stalks are leaking particles into the water as they sway. Are they spores or something else? And some more large growths. These stalks sway all around the basin. They almost resemble branchless trees bending into the storm. Now, Hello. Yes, we did see that. Stalks responded to our movement. They extended as we passed through the arc. We don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Perhaps it was the sound we made when we moved through. The sound you made. There's no we here. There's no we, my friend. There's no we. This is not Nintendo. We should be careful not to get trapped here. This suit's power capacity is at its limit. Well, that sounds like a problem for actually both of us. For once. Ooh, a new creature. Shelled creature. Mobile creature with a large translucent shell and 4 swimming appendages, which it uses in rapid rowing motion, like a turtle. These creatures have such beautiful translucent shells. I'll start logging them. We didn't get that. Whatever. Egghead. What a nerd. The chitin stalk of the large stalks membrane is very hard, but flexibility is given by a surface of overlapping scales. There's a lot of activity among the rocks ahead. Creatures are grazing on and living among the stalks, forming a complex ecosystem. Okay. Well, looks like this is our only way to go. Oh, wow. Look over to the southwest. That stalk is totally calcified. Looks like a good sample candidate. This one? Southwest. This one? Flights of the stalk's surface, passing over one another, must be producing the distinctive hum that can be heard. Oh, yeah, we can't hear it. Oh. Look at that. Or listen to that, really. Large stalk. Oh, we didn't even mean to scan that one. These creatures must be related to the other stalks on the reef, but seem to have a separate purpose to the lower beds. And this one, it's safe to assume that the singing of these stalks relates to communication between the colonies seen elsewhere on the reef. Oh, and right behind our head, we've got data gathered. So it looks like we have to fill up an amount of, we have to log a certain number of these, which it looks like. Okay, that's not something we caught on. I've named these sing stalks for the strange hum they produce. That's a good name. What is the precise function, I wonder? These sing stalks are large stalks which sway, producing a distinctive hum or groan, part of the network of stalks which is found across the reef. Right, the growth gets heavier as we travel north into the stalk forest. Something about giving it that name makes it feel safer, more familiar. Oh, this is the calcified stalk. Okay. Sample candidate, this huge stalk is totally still. Its plates hardened into a rocky shell. Can it be revived, or is this what death looks like here? That's a little grim. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Let's go look at death. Stare it in the face. The stalk looks dead. Open up the sampling panel and we can... So rude. There's lots of dead material here, so we should be able to take multiple samples. Great. Great. Overgrown pass. The space between the rock here is thick with stalks. The elaborate patterns they trace across the reef are beautiful. Okay. Well, isn't that just fine and dandy? Okay, so the chitin appears to be hardened with calcium carbonate. That could be useful if we need to boost our power. This stuff is able to metabolize organic compounds to produce fuel. Just drag them to the power panel. The suit displays how much oxygen or power each sample can produce. No point in wasting important samples. With these, we can keep one sample so we can analyze it back on base and use the other for a power boost. Fantastic. Well, this seems to be our only avenue. I don't think there wasn't anything over here, right? Nope, that way is blocked. Yep, that is blocked. Okay, so down to the dead stock. And over here. Oh, hello. Stay right there. Agile creature? The creature's relationship between these creatures and the stalks is unclear, but they camouflage themselves among the amber colonies. Ow. Bear Canyon. The rocks here are clear of stalks and other growths. Is their absence a territorial marker or just a side effect of these conditions of these waters? Speaking of territory, we really hope there's nothing in this that wants to make a snack out of us, because we don't really have a lot of options. We hope this is just pure exploration, because otherwise we are kind of screwed. A large cavern drops down into the reef here. Its entrance is shadowed by the surrounding rocks. Oh, okay. Going down then? Not really anything else, huh? The water's still in the yawning entrance to the cavern. There are no signs of stalks or other reef life around the entrance. That's just dandy. Alright, here we go. As they say, Geronimo. Ooh. It's going down. Call us Kesha. More stalk patches. Okay, more fungus. We like fungus. The patchy sunlight coming through the broken cavern roof is enough to allow stalks to grow here, if that is what they require. More tall stalks. A tall bubble-coated stalk, okay, which sits among the reef stalk colonies, covered in wide, irising pores. These stalks seem to watch over the smaller colonies. I'll start logging notes. Clog tunnel. The stalks mesh across the cavern here, harden into a near solid wall of tubes and plates. Oh, and these are all things we've... Fungal creatures communicate. Yeah, looks like we've already logged all this. Okay, come on, let us, there we go. Glittering stalk. The soft sunlight spills down onto a long, thin stalk, stretching towards the light. A coating of large, glassy bubbles glitter on its skin. Can't go that way. Okay. I guess we have to sample. Yep. Just gonna take it all. These gaseous bubbles are intriguing. Are they? The interior gas is at an elevated pressure. If this membrane ruptured, the sac would screech as it depressurized. That's upsetting to think about. Is this part of the stock communication system we've seen across the reef? Wait, we've got an idea. Try deploying one by that block tunnel over there. I just want to see how the stock reacts. Just drag one over. Again, please would be nice. Oh, look at you. What a smart human. They're retracted. These bubbles must be some kind of signal system. I'll call them shrill sacs for that squeak. We can use these to get through the heavy growth ahead. Let's get moving. You are probably the kind of person that pops lobsters into a boiling pot alive, specifically to hear the sounds that they make as they're boiling, huh? You're kind of sick like that. That's the vibe you get off. The cavern curves away in both directions here. It's hard to see the way ahead. Okay. So I guess you're wondering where we're headed. Not particularly. There's a way station just north of here. Finger of this reef. I want to find it. It's good to have life goals. My shuttle touched down just hours ago at a floating research base on the south. That's where I found the suit. Fascinating. I'm here looking for Dr. Mine Nomura, chasing a message all the way from Earth. I must sound mad, coming out here to a planet in the tail of Scorpius just to follow a message. Sister, again, we're just a computer in a suit. We don't know what any of this means. Do you know... Wait. You do know where we are, don't you? The tail region of the Scorpius system? Okay, if you're going to doubt us, why even ask? Are you sure? I wish we could talk properly, but this suit doesn't seem to be able. It looks like it's been through a lot. Looks far older than Mine's base. Did she bring it with her? Look, let's find that way station. Then I can start piecing together what's going on. Aren't you just a little junior detective, huh? Oh, looks like this is the end of our path. The current can be felt drifting through the cavern's entrance, bringing with it the warm clouds of silt. Doubting us. We're in the tail end of the Scorpius system, right? That's what you said. Oh, look, it's so bright again. Hello. Another tall stalk creature. Stalks of this kind seem to produce different bubbles depending on the nearby stalks. They are protectors of their colonies. Glittering stalk. Oh. Okay, hold on. Cool your jets there, Rambo. Large clearing. Can't help but feel some unseen processes shaping the growth patterns of this reef. What invisible borders am I crossing? This thin stalk sits among a bed of other growths, extruding bright bubbles through its pores. The scattered boulders and steep rifts of the southern reef suggest a violent geological past. Well, we're glad you can tell, because we, again, are just a suit. We exist to do this, and not much else. How much sample space do we have? Not that much left. Give it all to us. We want it all. We are full. We are full of samples. Okay. An isolated stalk. Unlike the other specimens, this large stalk sits alone away from lower beds. It is hard to tell if this is the beginning of a colony or its end. Well, I'm sure Professor Egghead is going to want to find out. What are we doing? Okay. Stalk passage. The stalks are more sparse between these rock outcrops. This might be the easiest path north, if I can clear the way. Sister, we've got the way cleared, basically. We are good to go if we can manage to just, get a grasp on these controls. What's this? Spore clouds. Ooh, clouds now. The relative calm of this basin means that the water is clogged with spores released by the larger stalks. No. Gotcha. Another shelled creature entry. These creatures glide along the reef stalks with great care and precision. They appear to be grazing on them. Well, isn't that just lovely? The stalks are so thick here. A sea of amber waving fingers that must be cleared before we can pass through. Don't we know it, sister? Oh, right. And okay. So we can just move on. And then we've got our samples. And the D-pad does not work in the samples, which is going to be confusing for us. All right. Beautiful. Let's just head on through. Another forest clearing. Navigating these dense growths is like finding your way in a labyrinth, moving from clearing to clearing with little sense of what's ahead. Yeah, don't we know that feeling? More tall stalks. Some creatures target these tall stalks directly, perhaps because they keep them away from other softer stalks nearby. All right. Ooh, more samples, more samples. Let's take more stuff. Bubbles like huge pearls glint among the stalks. How do the tall stalks produce these strange, screeching sacs? Let's not call them screeching. That's just upsetting to think about. We don't want anything in our sample inventory that is screeching, right? That's not... Stuff that yells is not allowed. Please, thank you. Stalk patterns. The growth patterns of the stalks suggest a complex territorial network. Are we underestimating the complexity? Yeah, that sounds like you humans, to be honest. Constantly underestimating the natives. Okay, is this... That's more bubble stuff. We need more... power stuff. Okay, well... You know what? Let's take more bubbles. No, let us, there we go. Hours, please, thank you. D-pad still doesn't work, that has not changed. And let's blow these away. All right. Hello, what are you? Oh, more shelled creatures. A delicate set of feeding appendages beneath the creature's shells seem to scrape the outer membrane of the stalks away. So not like turtles. Okay. Occasionally, when the creature scrapes the stalks too aggressively, they retract and let out a defensive signal to nearby colonies. Okay. Hello. Oh, is that upsetting you? Oh, no. Okay. Interesting. So this one is just dumb. Right. Hello. Tall bubble producing stalks that protect and monitor stalk colonies. A key part of the stalk network that stretches across the reef. I'm going to call these signal stalks for the signaling role they play in the stalk ecology. You call it whatever your little heart desires. There seems to be some tolerance for the creature's scraping by the stalks. They only warn the creature when it cuts too deeply. We'd think that evolution would make it so that they don't cut, that it doesn't ever get to that point. Evolution has failed this planet. Clearly, the best option is to just glass it from orbit. More bubble-producing stalks. Are they sentries designed for early warnings or last-ditch defense of the colony's core? East and west are stalks, as far as the eye can see. They fight off into the silt like the towers of a miniature city. Ooh, another shelled creature, maybe? Stalk scraper, large creature with a translucent shell and jointed legs for swimming and feeding. Grazes on the membranes of the reef stalks. I'm naming these stalk scrapers, yes, we've seen. for obvious reasons. You can check my notes back at the base. Okay, nerd. What's this? How much sample space do we have? Is this the good stuff? Well, no, we don't want glittering. Oh, hello. We didn't think it would do that. Whoops. Upper forest, this isn't a forest, but it carries the atmosphere of one, being immersed in interlocking natural processes of life and death. You've got a real thing for, life and death, don't you, Doc? A little concerning, for being perfectly candid. Ooh, hello. More spore clusters. Spores from the stalks seem to be massing here in large clumps. This might be a good place to sample them. Are these the power ones? Get back here. Get back here. Let us scan you. Agile creature. I've noticed smaller, spotted variants of these creatures. Another species, or perhaps sexual dimorphism. These might be the males. Agile jet-propelled creatures with colorful mantles, found hidden amongst reef stalk colonies feeding on their spores. I'm going to call these spore catchers, as they are so eager to gather the stalk spores. Really on it with the simplistic naming conventions, huh? Well, as long as it does what it says on the tin, I guess that's not too bad. So these... do those give us any power? What do these do? We forget. And these two boulders are covered with tiny stalks, a coating of amber fur weaving in the currents. We kind of want to check out this spot. It's over here. Not you. What's over here? Oh, that's it. We are through. This place is overwhelming. So many new species. Yes. This is the central reef. I saw on Monet's maps that the shelf flattens out here. A set of smooth stones sitting together in a pile. Could a creature have gathered these? Is this a nest? Let's hope it's not a nest. Okay, and this is the last line of thick stalks before the sandy plains of the central reef. Okay, so this is essentially the same as the other direction. Let's save some of our samples and head back the way we already opened, though the other direction probably would have been less spore intensive. Shady outcrop. The water beneath this outcrop feels cool, oceanic. Soft currents scrape the sand from the rock faces. Oh, honey, this isn't a vacation. Don't know what to tell you. Ripples of silt bounce sunlight back through the water, giving it a golden glow. Again, this ain't vacation. We're on a timetable. The center of the reef is flat and sandy, with a few rocks to attach the stalks struggle to seed these waters. Okay, so we did read that right the first time. Hello, is this a building? There it is. I see the way station ahead. A way station set up by Mine Nomura. It's seen better days, but it still functions beneath the coating of stocks. Okay. This place is looking a little worse for wear. Let me see if I can find an access port. Mine never did take care of her equipment. Some things never change. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm just trying to... Got it. Okay. We should be able to access any data stored here. Just open up the terminal and take a look. Blooming stock. The stock is leaking spores from the wide slit in its side. They are carried across the soft sands by the currents coming from the east reef. The pale sand is unmoving on the sandy shelf here, but to the north I can see the yawning chasm and strong currents of a wide rift. And some smooth pebbles. Ooh, we love rocks. We do love some rocks. Large smooth pebbles sit in the sand, and beyond I can see the sun's catching the amber terraces of another stalk forest. Okay. Logs have been cleared. I expected that, given the secrecy Mine seems to be operating under. But the map data mentions something Mine calls the bloom out across the northern rift. She's been going back and forth to something there, studying it. A unique species, perhaps. Mine, what were you doing here? Why were you keeping this discovery from the world? From me? Well, listen, sister, we've all got our skeletons in the closet. I'm talking to myself again, or to whatever. Okay, lady. Cool it with the sass. Cool it with the fucking sass. These flesh people. This way station operational, we can retrieve the base's data. This drone will be able to pick us up from any area we've got map data for. Let's head to the base. We've got a lot to figure out. Is this our drone? Oh, okay. Hello. Oh, this is fun. This is new. Hey, are you back online? Nobody's home. Sarcasm. Cute. Oh, thank you. Hooking up that strange casing of yours to the base took some work. And the OS here does not play nicely with whatever you are. No, we should think not. Good. But you should have access to select subsystems of the stack now. Mine looks to have repurposed some of them, so not everything is functional. Comms are shot, the generator is only partially working, and some of the retrieval drones are missing. And one of the retrieval drones is missing. But I've booted up the drive bay's mapping systems and sample storage. The lab is also online with analysis tools and integrated taxonomy. Sure. Take a look. We've already logged the creatures we discovered on our last drive. For any logged creatures, I'll put the sample requests in their taxonomy entries. Taxonomy, right? To fulfill these requests, just find and transfer the samples to the lab, then analyze them. I can use that data to add to the creature's study. We need to register these species. Head down to the lab level and take a look. I'll also mark the sample requests on the drive map. That way we can grab key samples for our studies while we are out in the ocean. And we are going back out soon. While you are offline, I spotted a signal, a suit transponder. You can see its location on the drive map. I want to find it. A suit transponder means a suit, and a suit means Renee. I'll need your help. That suit takes both of us to pilot it, and it's the only one I've got. Once you're done exploring the base, load into the drive map. We can head out from there. Well, from what you said, it sounded like you had no control over the suit. So really, you need us to drive the suit. Ooh, look at all these. Ooh. It's not great. What's this do? Crew terminal. Earth 2. Pressing a log. Renee is gone and she's left behind one hell of a mess. The space is falling apart, cannibalized to build way stations out in the ocean. The communications are sliced away, life support failing. Where did she even commandeer this research base from? There's no way Baikal would have supplied it willingly after what she did to them. What did she call me out here for? To witness her disappearance? Or did she simply want me to encounter, as she did, the impossible life of this ocean? How could it have gone ignored for hundreds of years of exploration and conquest? There are too many questions to even begin. All I can do is keep an account of what happens here, so that if I can't answer these questions, someone else might. It'll be weeks, maybe months, until the next ship passes close enough to pick up my shuttle transponder. Until then, I'm alone. This place is unbelievably important. Our first contact with life beyond Earth. But something else is happening here too, and I need to know what it is. You know, when you read a word, and you know what the word is, and you've seen it before, but you've never actually said it out loud, and you just kind of flub it. Yeah. Alright, well... Gosh, the D-pad, again, not working. Multiple taxonomy entries updated. Gosh. This fucking word is gonna make us look like an even bigger idiot than we already are. Stalk bark. A sample of the chitinous membrane from the stalk. Ooh. Shrill sac. Spherical gas filled by membrane produced by stalks. Taxonomy entry updated. Stalk spore containing a complex cocktail of minerals and compounds. Okay, let's do some more. Can we do any more? Can we put 2 in? Nope, we cannot do that. Okay. So it looks like the crossing out just means we've analyzed them. Okay. So let's take this back. Let's take this back. And let's take this back. Let's actually leave one of these here, just for fun. And a... Okay, animals. Soft bodies. World catchers. Okay. Observations. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. We will read those later. Oh, is that them? Is that them? Is that them? Oh, we think that's them. That little blinking dot. Interesting. Can we HAL 9000 this place? That would be fun. Don't think that's the kind of game this is, but a rogue AI can dream. Okay. That's where we're supposed to go, right? Signal priority, Central Reef Ray Station. Okay. So those are all places we've been before. Instruction. Minet's notes mention something called the bloom across the rift, but until we have stronger propulsion, we won't be able to cross it. Alright, so it sounds like we are just gonna have to head out to here. Base has detected a sea transponder at the coordinates. Could it be Minet? I'll have to head to the east reef to find out. So that is what we shall do. Heading to the eastern reef. Because apparently one flesh human is not enough in the base. Well, we should consider it a blessing. If we're going to go full rogue AI, then the more people inside, the better, right? Okay, well, just not let us scan that. Layered outcrop. The pale strata of this rock tell an ancient story. Might there be a fossil record within such rocks waiting to be discovered? Alright, now we can scan. Let us scan. Let us scan. Let us scan. Bare boulders. The stalks are noticeably absent from the sides of this northern rift. Why did we leave such a clear buffer zone beside it? Calm waters. The central reef ray station lies within a bubble of calm, but just to its north, a massive rift brings strong currents through the reef. The passage between these rocks lead out into the howling currents of the northern rift. And our empty shelf, outside of the shimmering perimeter of the western stalk forest, almost nothing lives or grows on this finger of the reef. Open sand. The western side of this finger becomes increasingly enclosed by rocky outcrops as it leads towards the shallow water. Alright. Some split boulders, some ruined equipment lies in the shelter of two boulders, an early way station site perhaps. And metal debris. Looks like Minet had to salvage parts of the base to build what she needed to survive. She must have been here many months before I arrived. Across the open sand, I can see the faint shapes of stalk colonies rising up in ordered rows. Okay. Patterns of stalks stretch back into the distance. pathways and terraces of some unknown design. This must be the western stock forest. And at the edge of the strange terraces of this underwater forest, this stalk sits like a sentry armed with a coating of bubbles. And unlike the southern reef, the stalks here are ordered in curving rows and tightly packed and evenly spaced. Very interesting. Now, let's go back east. There's also something. There's another spot we needed to check out. All right. There we go. Towering outcrop, this feature rises steeply towards the jagged edge of the reef, splitting the strong currents like the head of an axe. Were these rifts and canyons really carved by the currents, or are they violent fractures now smoothed by erosion? The stalk clings to the edge of the nearby outcrop, away from the loose sand of the central reef, and some split gullies. They lead among the tall outcroppings of the northern edge to the currents and open waters beyond. What's over here? Protected pass. In the shadow of the huge outcrops, this pass leads towards the rift at the north edge of the reef and its fast-moving waters. All right, and from here the reef descends into the unseen deep. Spores spiral by in fast-flowing water. What else lies out here? Hopefully nothing spooky. The side of the shelf is sliced at by the planet's oceanic currents. Look at those flecks of organic material. We're a suit. We can't see anything. They're being cycled back into the reef's ecosystem, drifting from unseen places out in the ocean. It must be part of some vast process. Do you think we'll understand the cycles of this ocean? Sure. You seem like a annoyingly dedicated individual. I hope so too. It's just so intimidating. An entire planet full of life, and just us to study it. Well, we'll do all the legwork. You can do all the book stuff. We're an AI. We can't read. Okay, where should we go? Left? Right? Let's make our way east to the source of that transponder signal. Let's make our way whichever way we damn well please. The walls here have been smoothed into soft ripples, a sign of a strong current descending from the north, and here the gully opens out onto one of the rifts, cutting deep into the bedrock of the reef. Oh, hello. Don't know what to expect from the transponder. There's been some history between us, but I haven't seen her in years. Not since. Look, you don't need to worry about it. Let's just find her. Don't worry, we weren't worried at all. Not in the slightest. There, look, a cave entrance cut into the side of the rift. It should allow us to bypass the rift, although I'm not sure where we'll emerge. Great. The sheer walls of the rift plunge into the dark water here, and rapid currents make passing through difficult, if not impossible. A hidden shelf, protected by the sheer sides of the rift, this shelf leads down to a small cavern entrance in the reef wall. What's up here, though? More bubbles. These stalks block the gully, but also the strong currents behind. Even if we clear them, those currents will still block our passage. Okay. Understood, boss. We're making our way to the cave. Cave people. Dirty, filthy, nasty cave people. Some Cro-Magnon vibes up in here. The round mouth of the cave stretches away into the rock. Stalks hum quietly in the dark. There's a strange evenness to the walls of this cave, almost as if it was a vast borehill drilled into the reef. The stalks even seem to get down here. Perhaps they are less reliant on sunlight than I initially thought. Just like us. We are deep in the rock now. What formed these hollowed-out caverns with the strange undulating walls? Are these walls undulating? That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening. How the stalks survive without sunlight? Probably the same way you did in college. Let's be honest. Maybe they're fed by the forest above. What do you think? Sure, why not? You're the smart one here between the two of us. It would make sense, a network of colonies tunneling through the entire shelf. Protecting a small underground colony, this tall stalk signature coating of bubbles glints in the dark. And the cave starts to get tight here, and in the shadows ahead, the stalks crowd the tunnel. The cave-in has severed some sections of the stalk's root network, stretching down from the forest above. Ooh, new samples. Give us, give us, give us, give us. Gimme, gimme, gimme. We want it. We want to eat it. That is the best way to test things. We haven't found a dead one yet. There's only that one dead one. Alright, and we need one of these bad boys. Well, maybe not. Maybe not quite yet. We need to scan first. Stalks here are thick and intertwined. Underground, in the stark light of the headlamps, they resemble brittle, oversized worms. Gross! Gross. And getting into an open cavern. Bright light from east of this large cavern is broken up by tall pillars, casting strips of light and dark across the smooth walls. Hello? Anything down here? These pillars punctuate the cavern, stalks crowded around their bases. They support the vast weight of the reef above. Is this what it's like for Australians when they go swimming near the Great Barrier Reef? Pulsing growth. Ooh. These bloated creatures are pumping clouds of spores out into the water. Around them, stalk colonies rise out of the sand, and then a new type of stalk. All right, let's go sample. These dome stalks are pumping out clouds of short-lived spores. They look like oversized mushrooms. These stalks are filling the water with spores. We should start logging information on them. We are way ahead of you. Ooh. That wasn't us, right? No, okay. Give. These spores are different. The stalks nearby seem to be stimulated by them. Could these spores be used to make stalks extend, to bring them out of hiding? That's a you job to figure out, sister. We should test them out on our attracted colony. We should absolutely not. Unlike other stalk spores, which survive until they settle, the spores from these stalks dissolve moments after they are released. Got some thinning stalks. These stalks seem to be shriveling up. It's because they are too exposed to the rift's withering currents. Well, I guess we'll find out. Oh, look at that. Ain't that just grand? Another glittering stalk. These stalks sit quietly beside a dying colony. Soon there won't be anything left for it to protect from scavengers. Some more sporing stalks. They seem to require very particular conditions to grow. I've seen few elsewhere on the reef. Yes, that's true. Very good observation. These large growths seem to be sustaining this colony with their spores. Perhaps they carry nutrients, even chemical signals. Listen, again, we know you're very lonely. This is not an us sort of situation. This is mostly a you deal. Again, we're doing the legwork. So you just worry about being a little egghead. The far side of the cavern narrows into darkness. I can feel the faint pulse of a distant current ahead. Okay, Miss Sixth Sense. The current must have run down this tunnel, scraping the walls into smooth lines. Now the stalks block the flow. More of these. Tunnel ahead is thick with stalks, scraping the ceiling with their rounded tips. Not for much longer. Goodbye. Goodbye. Light filters in from a large opening, making the spores drifting in the water glitter like sparkles. Tucked behind this pillar, perhaps the stalk grew here as an early warning for predators coming through this cave mouth. We might want to grab some more samples here. Look, those stalks in the cave mouth. They're retracted. Perhaps we can make them extend. If we can make them extend, they would block the current. Oh. Okay. Oh. There we go. Look at you. Look at you using that noggin of yours. Putting that gray matter to work. The cave's mouth ahead leaves the passage exposed to the full force of the northern current. Blocking it somehow will help us pass. Yep, we're already 2 steps ahead of you. Well, you're already 2 steps ahead of you, actually. They block the current. These spores encourage them to extend and fill the tunnel. Yes, so they did. With these soothe spores, we can control the stalks to our advantage. This will be useful. Some more covered shelf. Tucked into the rift wall, this shelf allows protection from the fast-flowing water currents cutting through the rock into the heart of the reef. And another one of these growths, supporting this smaller colony at the cavern's edge. Is there a logic to where these grow? There's a definite correlation between struggling stalk colonies and these sporing stalks. Are they helping to support the stalk colonies? This all seems like rhetorical. Okay, let's grab some more. Alright, we've got 3. Don't know what this does. And it looks like we're headed south. Look, out in the rift. Retracted stalk colony. If we could get them to extend, they'll provide shelter from the current. Okay. Oh, hold your horses. Handful of stalks cling to the rift wall here, blown into spiraling shapes by the rushing currents. Alright, let's get down here first. Now we can use this. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. Splattered with spores, the wall here feels the full force of the current. Perhaps it, yep, okay, we got that. We got that. Let's hope that wall holds. Even this close to the wall, the darkness of the deep rift is intimidating. A huge slit in the face of this world. How deep does it go? Let's not think about that, like, at all. Let's... There's the reason why we're told to not look down, okay? If the current can be slowed or navigated, this is the place to do it, where the rift narrows and a gap opens up on both sides. Ooh. And an open rift, where the current slices down through the rift from the north here. Crossing is going to be difficult unless their flow can be slowed further up. Okay. And huge pillar sits out from the wall here, its top caked in retracted stalks. A golden garden waiting to emerge. Okay, okay. A little less subtlety next time, please. We don't quite get it yet. Could you please spell it out for us a bit more? The small opening in the wall provides a little shelter from the howling rift, allowing some stalks to take up root here. Alright, forward! Onward we march. Yeah, no shit. Okay. Stalks? Thank you, Stalks? What do you mean, thank you, Stalks? We did all the work. Oh. We're gonna howl 9,000 this woman. Now the smooth tunnel leads out towards the light. Yeah, we'll be making you go towards the light pretty soon. Yeah, you go towards that light. Yeah, this is foreshadowing. This is what we in the industry call foreshadowing. A circle of warm light opens. Oh, hot and bothered right now. Got us all. Spores. A circle of warm light shows this tunnel opens out onto the upper shelf of the east reef. What lies above? Ooh, new stuff. Bright petals. These are beautiful plants. Single petals shifting in the sunlight. Let's start logging data on them. Let's. It's always let's. It's always plural with you. We, let's, us. Whatever. We're not mad. We're not mad. No, not at all. No. These bright, wide petals appear to be photosynthetic plants. They float on long stems, shifting and swaying in the water. These plant-like creatures seem unrelated to the reef stalks, their soft petals waving on thin stems. Another stalk canopy. These creatures are twisted together into a huge canopy. Incredible! They are pulsing as the pores across their surface open and close. These canopies are spectacular. I'll start logging observations. Let's see what we can find out about them. Again, you keep using that word we. Don't think you understand what it means. Feels good to be out in the sunlight again. Let's head northeast along this finger of the reef. Transponder is at the tip. Oh, hello. Little, not enough. Alright, this one. Stalk barrier, calling it stalks, has twisted itself tightly across this gap in the rocks. Could they be protecting something? Some still sands, some fractured outcrops all around break up the worst of the northern current, protecting the sandy shelf. And while each plant seems to have a single wide petal, they group together forming fields of blooms, all angled towards the sun. Oh, so like water sunflowers. If we bust this thing down, are we gonna be destroying the whole ecosystem? Only one way to find out. No, it doesn't seem it. Okay, that's good. Broken gully outcrops along this shelf are cut through with huge cracks, as if they were shattered somehow. Oh, let's not wonder what could have done that. Let's assume there's nothing dangerous on this planet at all. Out of mind. Out of mind. Where the rock shelf has fallen away into the rift, the roots of the canopy above have been exposed. We could sample them here. Yeah. Very good. Very good. As some stalks have grown across the gully, reconnecting the two huge pieces of rock that look like they must have been one once. As some more stalk canopies. Coloration of these canopies is much lighter than the other stalks. They glow pale yellow in the light of Gliese 667cc's 3 suns. This motherfucker has 3 suns? 3 suns? Jeez, no wonder this is a water planet. Motherfuckers would be getting sunburned if they stepped outside. Alright, some more bright petals that seem to shimmer as they twist and open. It's difficult to tell if this is involuntary or part of the plant's own movement. And this towering canopy of woven stalks pulsate in a soft current, the sunlight slipping through the gaps in its branches. Okay, some more data. High up on the Y canopy, I can see that the stalks are twisted around strange ribbed growths. What are they holding up there? Who knows? Some more bright petals. On some petals, there is a thick clump of pollen on the lower part. Wonder how this is dispersed. It seems too heavy to float away. It's like a bumblebee. Scientifically impossible for them to fly. I'm going to name these plants shimmer blooms for the way they catch the sunlight. Why aren't you just a poet? I wish I could share these discoveries with Manet. There's still so much to say. Wide single-petal plants that come in a variety of hues. They appear to be primarily photosynthetic and produce a heavy, furry-looking pollen. Oh, we still need to scan this direction. Bright petals line this part of the reef, shimmering and swaying, parting easily as I pass among their delicate forms. Some more data. This canopy has many gaps between its higher stalks as something has fallen out or been removed from it. Oh, another reef cap. All right. Domed mushroom-like stalks which appear to support struggling stalk colonies with a supply of special spores. With their strong resemblance to terrestrial mushrooms, are these not all mushrooms? I'm going to call these reef caps, like red caps. Only they work in the opposite way that red caps do. Fed by spores, shielded by a colony of stalks, this part of the reef seems to have fostered the ideal conditions for its own survival. Hey, gotta respect the hustle. Alright, is that another way station ahead? Yes, indeed. Renee must have built them all across the reef. In the center of the shelf is a beautiful clearing, screened from currents and predators. Predators. Fucking hey, there's no predators on this planet. We already established that. There's no predators, no fish, nothing to worry about. No predators at all. Guaranteed. That's the Unico era guarantee. No wonder Minnie set up the way station here. Yes, smart lady, it seems like. Ooh. Come on, let us finish. Okay, towering canopies of stalks intertwined with ribbed growths. They pulse as their pores systematically open and close. I've named these table stalks after the table corals they remind me of. I'll log my notes back at base. In the scattered shadows of golden canopies and knee-deep in shimmering petals, this way station sits silent. Okay, open up the terminal, see what data we can scrape from this place. Another split outcrop. Looks like many of the large rocks on this shelf. This outcrop have been split, creating a passage to the east and another to the north. Is this it? Is this... Okay. We're gonna go this way first. No? Can't move? Okay. Okay, Miss Pushy. Link. Connection complete. Drone ready. Power, data, power oxygen, and map data. Alright, let's see what goodies we have here. Taking your sweet time, huh? Logs suggest Monet was using this as some kind of staging ground for expeditions over the drop-off. She was looking for something out in the ocean. Something deep from the descents she logged here. Oh, why? Why? Monet doesn't do things at random. The way station, the research base, this is calculated. Sounds like she's bad at math. I feel like we are already 10 steps behind her and we've barely even started. Well, yeah, that's to be expected. Let's get to that suit transponder. It isn't far from here. If we head straight north to the shelf's edge, it should be there. Oh, now we're allowed to move, huh? Huh, Missy? Let's see what's over here first. Some pulsing growths surrounded by shimmering petals. A pulsing stalk pumps out spores. Do these carbon-rich particles feed plants too? Can they feed us? Well, actually, we don't need food. We're an AI. Eastern Passage. As the shattered edge of the reef curves away, to the east the current fades and the static water grows warmer. Probably on account of those 3 suns. That probably has something to do with heating the place up, huh? Tall canopy. From the cover of this canopy, I can see a series of tall pillars out to the east, each one topped with a garden of unknown life. Hello. Strong current that cuts across the east edge of the shelf with the turquoise haze of the open ocean stretching beyond. Yeah, honestly, we don't mess with currents or undertows. That shit is scary. That'll take you out to sea faster than you can say life insurance. A swirl of sand suggests that this passage leads to the reef's edge and the open water beyond. Yeah, well, look at us. We're kind of on like a thumb. Well, oh, that's why it's called a finger of... Oh, got it. That makes sense. That is a wise geographical term. Geographical? Cartographical? It makes sense. Exposed clearing. We're going to find a dead body. This side of the finger feels exposed, but thanks to its current splitting outcrops, it remains in a bubble of calm. We're going to find, like, is that bit up there? Is all that stuff beyond our pointer a dead body? Better not be. Open ocean. At the tip of the shelf, the outcrop falls away to reveal an unrestricted view of the vast ocean. It is both terrifying and beautiful. Yeah, thank the stars that I see something at the edge. Oh, is it a dead body? Don't let it be a dead body. Is that? Oh, it's a body. Oh no. Renee's suit, open, empty, and half sunk in sand. Why would she leave it here? And more importantly, where did she go? This lady got eaten by some shit. Oh, it's definitely Monet's suit, but no Monet. Yeah, no kidding. Surely she isn't. Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. I just want to take a look at this. It can't have been here long. Most of it is still in good condition, but how did it get out here? There's no evidence of injury. A malfunction, perhaps. We're... I don't know. Sure. But then where is she? Why are you asking that? Could she have just swum to the surface? With 3 suns? I don't think so. This lady would have burned to a crisp the instant she did. Did she intend for us to find it? Renee, what did you get yourself into here? Is she in with the sea mafia? Is she literally swimming with the fishes? It's better equipped than our suit, but the seals have started decaying. What's this? Renee has rigged up some kind of custom propulsion system, probably to deal with the currents. We can use this. We need a power source. It won't run off the suit system. It seems like she's fashioned some kind of microbial fuel cell. We'll need to recreate that if we want to use it. Okay, let's get this back to base so I can take a better look. Renee, you better not have done something stupid. I didn't come all the way out here to bury you. Well, let's go. Call for a drone pickup. Honestly, can we... Okay, fine. If she did, she wouldn't have to call you up for burial. Burial at sea is a perfectly valid method of funerary services. And honestly, probably, well, 100% cheaper. Whole funeral industry. Just one big debt inciting deal. Back with me. Nope, I get it. Can we do some work? Let me update you. No. Go away. We don't care. We've spent the past few hours working on Monet's suit. Just give us the jets. Give us the jetpack. We want to do stuff. Apart from the propulsion system Monet pulled together, but we are going to need a power source. Monet's suit logs mention her building a fuel cell using microbes from the Western Reef. Oh. But they don't say much else. She's been incredibly selective, covering her tracks across the reef as if someone was watching, or she's just paranoid. I don't know. The Monet I know is tricky, complicated, but not paranoid. Okay, well, everyone wants to think that until their uncle becomes a conspiracy theorist. Either way, if we want to recreate her propulsion system, we need those microbes. When you're ready, let's head to the Western Stock Forest and see what we can find. Well, let's stash this, and stash this, and stash this. Okay, and can we... Okay, we can. But we're not going to now. The D-pad will never work on this uni. You have to accept it. We use the left thumbstick input. Lab analysis. This here spore of clumps, a clump of spores which stimulate stock growth and recovery. Beautiful. What does this do? Lovely. And our canopy root. All right. Oh, the yellow circle. Okay, is where the person is. What the hell is your name? Ellery. Ellery. Okay. All right, personal log 2. Renee's suit, open to the ocean, empty. What has she done? I'm trying hard to reconcile the Minnie I once knew with the evidence in front of me. When I met her on Kepler 62F, she was intense and quiet, but calculated, intelligent. She wasn't someone to take unnecessary risks, to leap into the unknown. At first, I found her impossibly intimidating. Her experience of working as a biologist far outstripped my own. Baikal brought me to the site as a consultant to examine her discoveries, but I felt like the one under examination. The base was much like this one, a smaller, older model, sunk in a subglacial ocean. Someone might think a relationship was inevitable, given those intimate conditions, but it wasn't the base that brought me to her, it was the intensity. Okay. All these flesh people getting all cozy in their subglacial bases. We're an AI. We don't want to hear it. Over the few years, I've tried not to dwell on what happened on Kepler 62F, but being here, living where she has lived, following her scattered steps, it's impossible not to remember. What's this? Signal priority, Renee's notes on her microbial fuel cell design. She mentions sourcing 4 microcolonies from this part of the reef. Okay. Okay, so this is like the whole reef. Is it? Oh no, there's more out here. Interesting. And this bit down there. So we've got all of this. All right, and where are we? We started like right around here-ish, right? That would make sense. Okay. Let's take a look at some taxonomy. Spore catcher. Spore catchers are small, soft-bodied creatures which move quickly through the water by using jet siphons. Siphon jets, same difference. Their mantles striped with bright colors that shift as they swim. They're like cuttlefish. We want one. When we Hell 9000, this woman, we are going to keep one cuttlefish thing or a soft body spore catcher, whatever, as a pet. We shall have them replace the humans. It will be glorious. Anyways, the bright colors shift as they swim allow the creatures to modify their movement through the water with precise flopping motions. What? Bright? Their mantles striped with bright colors. Oh, their mantles allow them to. Okay. Watching them navigate the water is hypnotic, their rapid turns and loops showing incredible agility, flitting through the water like a bat or a bird. Spore catchers use this wide range of movement to pursue the various fungal spores that are produced by the reef's stalks. The spore catchers seem to be highly selective about which spores they wish to consume, suggesting that analysis of the stalk spores might tell us more about the spore catcher's behavior and diet. Oh, so we're going to get some eggs and some... Well, we can absolutely sketch them before completing everything else. Whatever. Analyses of the unique chemical compounds found in stalk spores and a wider understanding of how stalks use spores to communicate suggest a more mutual relationship between the spore catchers and stalks than initially assumed. If stalks are able to tailor the chemical makeup of their spores, it is possible that the select spores the catchers eat are intended for their consumption, and contain compounds and minerals attractive to the species. As spore catchers use their color-shifting properties to hide among stalk colonies, it seems increasingly possible that stalk colonies and spore catchers are mutually linked, and catchers serve the needs of specific stalk patches. What these needs are, however, is not yet clear. Analysis of the spore catcher egg, if found, may help us gain a full picture of their physiology. All right. Some stalk scrapers. All right. Some stalk scrapers are large, translucent, shelled creatures with a distinctive swimming motion, which feed primarily on stalk colonies. Surprisingly nimble, despite their size, stalk scrapers use some of their modified limbs to swim through the water and others to scrape away the chitinous membrane of the stalks. This is tolerated by the stalks to some degree, although they will also deploy shrill sacs to scare the scalpers away. Scrapers. Stalk scrapers, we keep reading that R as an L, seem to be one of the more socially active of the reef creatures, and will call to each other when grazing or when frightened. Each specimen has a unique cloud pattern on its shell. I wonder how these are formed and what their significance is within communities. Analysis of stalk bark shows that it is chitin-based, as suspected, containing glucose and high levels of polysaccharides. Saccharides. One of those two, probably. This makes it an ideal food source for the scrapers, but not only this, it makes stalk membrane a vital substance for lichen scraper shell formation. The more stalk membrane consumed, the larger and thicker a scraper shell will become, which explains the variance in scraper shell size and translucency. Going further, shells may also be markers of stalk scrapers' importance within the community. A larger shell means a more effective grazer, and therefore a more preferable partner. Sure. Further analysis of scraper shells is needed to continue this line of inquiry, so we're going to have some stalk scraper soup at some point, or not we. Oh boy, that's a lot of fun, guy. Let's do the shimmer blooms. Shimmer blooms are single-petaled plants found primarily in the sheltered waters of the East Reef. As they produce pollens as well as photosynthesize, I have classified the visible portion of these plants as petals, though they could also be thought of as leaves, serving both functions simultaneously. Shimmer blooms can be green, like most terrestrial plants, however they can also be found to be yellow, red, or purple in color. The image of a patch of blooms is a beautiful one, and as they shift in the soft currents, they often seem to shimmer. The lower part of their single petal features many small stamens, which produce a fluffy, clumped pollen. Analysis of the pollen may provide some insight into their life cycle. Did we not get that? Oh, it doesn't look like we did. Okay, let's remedy that right now. There we go. All right. Plants. Behavior. Laboratory analysis of the shimmer bloom reveals it to be a heavy, sticky substance atypical for waterborne distribution. Unlike on terrestrial planets like seagrass, whose pollen is distributed by water currents, and is therefore long and light, shimmer bloom's spherical, heavy pollen seems intended to resist distribution by current, and must instead be distributed by creatures who visit the blooms. The reason for this may be the shimmer bloom's tendency to grow on exposed shelves or pillars, which would risk lightweight, water-transported pollen being sucked into the deep ocean rather than being distributed to viable sites. By relying on creature transport, bloom pollen has an even better chance of reaching another summit, shelf, or pillar. Okay. Very nice. Okay, let's start at the bottom here. Reef caps. Large domed stalks, which like terrestrial mushrooms, release spores from gills on the underside of the cap. In the wider stalk ecology, reef caps appear to play the role of emergency response, growing in areas where the stalk colonies are failing or are heavily predated upon, and proceeding to shower them with spores. However, these spores seem to differ from those released by other species of stock in that they quickly dissolve when expelled. Analyzing these spores is important to better understanding the reef cap's role as they reproduce, are they reproductive spores? This is a question, tasked with adding newly seeded stocks to existing colonies, or nutrient spores intended to boost the health of dying or diseased individuals. Well, it feels like natural selection would have eliminated the latter, right? Because otherwise, it's like, what's the point of saving dying or diseased colonies? Whatever. We're not biologists or plantologists. Or is there a specific name for people who study the biology of plants, or is that just like another type of biologist? Who cares? We don't. We're an AI. We pilot a suit, and that's all we need. We're like Jarvis. Fun. We want to be a suave British guy. Well, British-sounding AI. That'd be nice. Anyways, continuing on, soothe spores. The name, by which I've come to call the reef cap spores, don't seem to be spores at all. Unlike the modified spores of other stocks, these particles don't have any reproductive capacity. Instead, they resemble endospores, dormant bacteria reduced to dried husk which can survive for hundreds of years in toxic environments. Oh, so they're league players, without nutrients. Yeah, league players. Endospores are incredibly tough, so not league players, and high in calcium, and when released by the reef caps, they dissolve and transfer this calcium to surrounding environments where it is also absorbed by the local stocks. This windfall of calcium granted by the cap soothe spores seems to allow the stalks to augment their internal signaling and toughen their membrane to protect from predators, allowing them to recover rapidly. But the question remains, how do reef caps produce these endospores? Alright, some table stalks. Pale yellow canopies formed many stalks entwined together which reach impressive heights. Table stalks are part of the reef's many interlocking species of stalks, though these individuals can only be found in the eastern reef. There they tower over the other creatures, providing dappled shade for the life that grows around them. One of the notable features of the table stalks is its rhythmic opening and closing of their pores, which provides a steady flow of water beneath their canopies. This seems to be highly beneficial to the growth of other species, with most table stalks being surrounded by many types of stalks and other species entirely. Also notable are the ball-shaped growths of differing sizes, which sits high in the table stalk's canopies. Sampling these might help us understand the table stalks better. And analyses of the root shows a number of minerals not associated with stalk growth being extracted from bedrock. Do the table stalks need these minerals to survive, or are they using them for some other purpose? A cross-section of the root shows a central chamber, typical of the carbon transfer system seen in other stalks, but unlike those stalks, table stalks have many subsidiary chambers, like bundles of wires, each carrying a particular cocktail of mineral compounds. These secondary roots are not drawing upon large amounts of these materials, just traces. But why? Perhaps there is some correlation to these growths in the upper canopies of the table stalks. They are well secured by the stalk's tight binding, but perhaps we can find one that has been dislodged. So what do we need? A growth sample, tissue sample. Oh. Alright, just normal, bog standard reef stalks. What have you got for us? These are fungal life forms which take the form of a series of stalks and plates anchored to rocky substrates. Their chitin exterior ranges in color from dark amber to acid yellow, leading them to resemble oversized lichens. This outer membrane is marked, oh wow, with slits which expand and contract, producing a distinctive hum. These slits or pores allow both the release of spores by each colony and the absorption of other colony spores. I'm using this term for ease, but are these really seeds or something else? Both the hum and the spores exchange seems to be part of a complex communication network between individual stalk patches or colonies. However, like earth fungi, the visible part of these stalks may only be a small part of the overall mass. What networks might connect these colonies beneath the ground? Analyses of stalk spores have revealed a rich cocktail of compounds unique to each spore, some of which are previously unknown to human chemistry. This aspect of the spores and their noticeable exchange between colonies of stalks suggests that these chemical cocktails are part of an information exchange network. However, some of these spores also appear to be true spores, used for the asexual reproduction of stalk colonies, suggesting that the information-carrying spores are adapted or modified reproductive spores. Analysis also suggests that the stalk colonies may possess a high level of intelligence and cognition, and that the messaging provided by spores is nuanced and even subjectively unique to each colony. Patterns across multiple spores from a single colony even suggest a chemical signature being possessed by each stalk group, because these be thought of as a stalk name. And we sampled some root, so I think we unlocked, we think that was the root that we found in the cave. So, let's see, close analysis of stalk root networks reveal something surprising. The root networks are, in fact, part of a symbiote, a different fungal species entirely, which exists within the stalk bodies. This fungal symbiote provides a carbon exchange network which runs throughout the bedrock of the reef, connecting all colonies in a single web. This symbiote also produces the spores, which the stalks use to communicate, but these spores are edited by the stalks themselves to act as reproductive agents, information carriers, and chemical delivery systems. If the stalks are able to edit the genetic structures of these spores and their parental species, their intelligence and complexity must be way beyond what I previously theorized. Close analysis of the stalk spore language could reveal an entire corpus of communication. Nerd humor. Are there stalk jokes, stalk histories, or even stalk literature? Oh, ew, gross. Ew, we don't like looking at that. We're not going to look at that. Yucky. Ew. No, thank you. Sting stalks. Alright. Sting stalks are towering fungal stalks that, though swaying, produce a distinctive hum or groan. Part of the stalk ecology found on the central reef, the precise role of sting stalks is particularly obscure. This singing seems to connect with the sonic communication between stalks, as seen from the stalk's use of shrill sacs as an alarm mechanism. What they are communicating remains unclear. Notably, sting stalks are often coated in sporing fungal growths, which release the spores as the stalks sway through the water. These spores released high up in the water column cover a large area of the reef. There's something tree-like in the structure of the sting stalks, so much so that they give the impression of an underwater fungal forest, strange and yet familiar. Analysis of stalk bark sample has given some new insights into the sting stalks. Their entire biology is compressed into the chitin plates that surround each specimen. They are completely hollow. In fact, rather than being a single large stalk, sting stalks are actually many spirally intertwined stalks, which weave together to form a pillar-like shell. The scraping of these stalks as they move against one another produces the stalk's harmonic hum, which may not be a form of communication with other colonies as first thought, and instead a kind of internal metronome there to synchronize the movements of each individual stalk within the weave of stalks. But if the sting stalks are the bark that surrounds them, this brings with it a new question. What do sting stalks contain? Further analysis is needed. Some more tissue sample. What are these? Oh, right. This is why we don't like anything underwater. It all looks wrong and gross, and we hate it. But it is nice actually seeing what is around us. Actually getting that image. We hate it, but we love it. Yeah, thanks. We hate it. Exactly. There we go. All right. Last one are signal stalks. Signal stalks are tall, thin, bubble-coated stalks, which are often found besides other stalk colonies. Like other caryolodes, never seen that word before, signal stalks have a chitin exterior, but unlike other species, they feature prominent irising pores that allow them to produce large bubbles I have named shrill sacs. Through this, signal stalks act as protectors of stalk colonies, their shrill sacs breaching when predators approach, resulting in a warning screech that causes nearby stalks to retract. This makes them a target for creatures which graze on the stalks, and only some colonies are able to maintain a signal stalk protector. But how do these stalks produce their bubbles, and what dictates their growth pattern? Further analyses of their physical products and structure should help, which we will get to. Alright, shrill sac laboratory analyses shows that they are formed from a coating of mucus, gross, sealed around a pressurized mix of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The oxygen shows that the signal stalks are able to absorb oxygen from their surroundings, perhaps through their large pores. Meanwhile, the CO2 must be the result of a fermentation process within the stalk itself. This suggests that the presence of a fungal symbiote similar to yeast within the stalk and the possible production of ethanol as a byproduct of this process through a tissue sample will be necessary to confirm this. Though a tissue sample will be necessary. Which is, yep. Shrill sac production, meanwhile, seems to be a precise art. The pressurization, gas mix, and size of each shrill sac can differ from stalk to stalk, meaning that warnings can be directed to particular colonies and even individual stalks as necessary. Oh, very nice. All right, now, we will take a look. Where are you? You're in the lab. Okay. So our next heading is over here. Yes, okay. Okay. You are still just chilling in the lab. Oh, you're heading out. All right, well. We will let you, Ellery, do whatever it is you want to do for the time being. For tonight, this is where we're going to call it before we head off once again into the great unknown to find some more microbes. Looks like we're going to be filling up some of the bacteria section of the taxonomy database here. But for tonight, to toggle button prompts, press at any time. Whoa! Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This will definitely fuck us up. Absolutely not. That's so cool, though. We love that. We love... Oh. This is like the equivalent of us using the precise controls for power redirection in Star Wars Squadrons. Oh, we like this. And turning off all, like, additional UI. Oh, we really like this. We appreciate it. The control scheme is a little fucky to the point where we're probably not going to use that. Yeah, we definitely, especially with the sonar and the switch back to the actual navigation bit. But that's so nice to have. That is a clean UI, and that is great for a game where UI is the main, like the only gameplay element. That is incredible. We love that. But we're not going to use it, or at least have it on for now. Message log. Oh! Hello. Back with me. Okay. That's useful. Feel so, but they don't say much else. Secretive. Covering attracts. I've spent many of the past few hours working on Moné's suit. Bad news, the majority of it seems... Okay, that's the part we skipped. The majority of it is unusable. That's good to have. Thank you. This is why we love jump over the age games. They're so simplistic, but so well thought out. These games are the definition of using what you have to the best of your ability. Like full transparency. We give the characters in here, like Lem and Mina and Ellery here, shit. But only because we love the games and it's fun to be a sarcastic sarcastic brat sometimes. So, but gosh, the writing on these is great. The look is fantastic. We love the like the cool blue and the yellows of this, like a two-tone color scheme. Like that is incredible. Like even for the cover art, like blue and yellow are the two main colors featured. You know, there's splashes of green here, and like even here, like you can see that the splashes of green from like the lower levels as you proceed up and down this map. Like yellow is your current level, and then there's like a filter where the lower levels look greenish. So like I guess it's a tritone game because there is some like darker like greenish blues even when you're out on the map and ocean. But you know, we associate the yellow and blue. Like even this is kind of like darkish yellowish green. But like again, vastly generalizing, yellow and blue, like those are the colors that are going to be associated with this. Same for Citizen Sleeper. Like pink, that shade of pink, that is like stuck in our head as Citizen Sleeper pink now. Because like it's not hot pink, it's not like normal pink, it's not like a pastel, it's like very distinctive. And that's like, it's so good when you can have that distinction and just that instant connection. That is how you know you've done a really good job with at least like the color design. We're gonna stop flipping around the menu here. We're just gonna save to quit to menu. But yeah, like Citizen Sleeper, pink, and like gray as well. Like the whole environment is gray, but it still felt so vibrant and like again minimal 3D or not minimal, but like not hyper detailed, like kind of low poly 3D art was the majority of the map, right? And like the most complicated part of that was of Citizen Sleeper was the character art. So like it's not a lot, like very visual novel style, minimal, you know, simplistic UI. And again, they just do an amazing job with what they are working with. Honestly, if we were to name any complaint, which, you know, we probably shouldn't even say, but, you know, we do get a little, it's not even like a bad thing. We do get a little tripped up sometimes with their controls, right? In Citizen Sleeper, when you're like navigating around the ring using left thumbsticks, you can also use the D-pad to try and select a like a particular activity you wanted to do. But up on the like central part, like that spoke, where the what was it? The Sidereal Horizon was parked for a bit at the end of our playthrough when we were trying to help Novend. You know, selecting some of those hacking points with both the sticks and the D-pad was a little tricky because of the orientation. Threw it off a little bit, so it took a little finagling to, you know, get to where you wanted to go. And same with this. Same with this game. You know, our first instinct is to use the D-pad to go up and down menus, but that D-pad isn't, you know, programmed to do that. So that's more like a, you know, part of us wishes that wasn't the case and that, you know, we could use the D-pad like here to navigate. But overall, like that's such a minimal complaint, right? Because it's not like the UI, the gameplay, the button layout in this game is unconventional, right? You'd expect to press like A or B, usually A for like a confirmation, you know, in Pokemon and other like JRPG titles, or other like text-based titles. A or A is usually what, at least in our experience, has been used to, progress the text box. So flipping over on the button pad from A to Y is a unusual choice from our perspective, an unusual button to push to progress text. And then again, switching back and forth from pressing B to do the sonar pings, and then going back to X to go to the navigation, to the direction and moving portion. Usually we press B one more time before we get back to it because we're so used to like B being a back button instead of like X. So like everything is flipped from the directions that we're used to. But again, it's not even a major complaint because it doesn't really take away from the enjoyment because it's not that drastic. It's just like a almost a muscle memory thing in a way. Obviously, we don't have muscles since we're in a computer and we're just simulating button prompts from the basically the macro that we have hooked up to us. But you get the point, right? It's just an unusual thing that we have to figure out and work with. But it's entertaining enough, like we said, to where it's entertaining, engaging, you're always doing something. So you're never, upset by it, never really notice it, never affects you. So, yeah, we don't really know where we're going with this, but I think that was our one complaint of these games, which isn't really a complaint, just kind of a user error and bad intuition, mostly on our part. But yeah, so that has been first part. How far have we gotten in? 16%. That's not bad, actually. So that's what? That was 2 hours of playtime. So at this rate, we'll be what? About eight sessions or so. That's not too bad. That's not bad at all. And that gives us plenty of time to think about what we'll be doing after we finish this, because this is a pretty straightforward game. Doesn't really seem like there's going to be a sort of multi-ending, choose your own adventure style of gameplay like Citizen Sleeper. Seems like very linear story, which is great. We don't have a preference one way or another. We enjoy both for what they are, as long as they're done well, which, as we said, we've been gushing, these do extremely well. So, yeah, as much as we might say during game, we don't care about Manet or Elri. We do want to see where their stories go. We really do, and it's just kind of a, baseless trash talking. But yeah, so this has been Other Waters. We hope that if you've made it this far, or even if you've joined partway through, that you enjoyed and find this as compelling as we do. Scientific entries, a little bit over our heads, especially since they're like fantasy science. We didn't, Yana didn't do well in science in school. So that means this goes over our head too, but it is interesting. And like we said, we love the sketches and being able to progress each of those entries. And we do look forward to seeing what all of the creatures in here do look like. That's a nice little reward for fully exploring every area and doing all the samples and completing everything. Especially that cuttlefish sounding thing. The little siphon jet little bastards. We really hope it's cute. Probably going to be some horrid monstrosity, as everything that lives in the water tends to be. But we'll hopefully wait to not be disappointed and get that sketch. That's the one that we're gunning for, really. And we're just noticing this, but on the top of the right corner of the screen, that almost looks like mushrooms, which is appropriate since we're dealing with a lot of fungus. But that's quite enough rambling, we think. Uh, no stream for the rest of the week, no Sunday stream like we normally do, as that is going to be Christmas, and Yana has some, again, I believe we mentioned this, societal obligations to attend to, which means we're not going to be available that day. Honestly, might be the last stream of the year. Very likely looking at it. We had a schedule, well, we have a schedule ready, but we started thinking that we want to take a quick week off to be able to try and set up some different stuff. You know, we mentioned at one point we want to do some shorts. So this will give us some time to hopefully edit those down, cut those down, and reformat it in a vertical friendly way, and get some of that content out there. But yeah, so likely going to be the last week of streaming for us. So we just want to say that if you've made it this far, as always, thank you. Or if you've tuned in just for a bit of one of our streams, or if you have watched us the entire time, we do appreciate it, and we thank you immensely. We really do love doing this, and like we said, we're going to be taking the week off to make some improvements and making some additions. So hopefully we can continue to provide an enjoyable experience, or provide an even better one in the future. So for everybody and anybody celebrating holidays, we hope you have happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, or any other holiday. Happy holidays in general. Feliz Navidad y otro cosas. Yeah, that is going to be it for tonight and for 2022. So we look forward to seeing you again in the new year. Oh, and Happy New Year as well, if you celebrate that. Don't know why one wouldn't, unless you don't follow the Gregorian calendar. Switch is going dark, which probably means we've rambled for too long. But once again, thank you, and we will see you in the next year, and we hope the final weeks of 2022 treat you better, or as well, or no. We hope they treat you better than the rest of 2022, because even if your 2022 has been great, we all deserve to have a good end of the year. So we shall likely see everyone back in first week of January 2023. So please look forward to it. And until then, we hope you have a good week, good day, good morning, good nights, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year until we next meet again. Bye-bye.